Yes, indeed. B Marsh Boxing. We back at it with another boxing video. So Leo Santa Cruz from Mexico. He says that a fight with Tank Davis is 100%. He's 100% sure that the fight happens next for him. He's aiming to fight the man Gervonta Davis at a catch weight, not a catch weight, excuse me, at 130 pounds. But he's not quite certain if that's going to be the case. But he's pretty sure that he's fighting Gervonta Tank Davis next. Leo Santa Cruz is 37-1, one draw, 19 KOs, and Tank Davis is 23-0 with 20, what is it, 22 KOs. You know, Leo Santa Cruz wants the fight to happen at super featherweight limit at 130 pounds, but Leo Santa Cruz, you never know, depending on what kind of leverage in the negotiations that Gervonta Tank Davis has, Santa Cruz may have to move up to 135 if he really wants this Tank Davis fight. Now, last time we seen Santa Cruz in the ring was when he fought a journeyman by the name of Miguel Flores, and they fought for the super title at 130 pounds. I thought that was disgusting by the WBA to even allow that farce of a fight to happen. But hey, to me, Leo Santa Cruz's career has been a farce. I'm not going to lie to you. I will not lie to you. You know what I'm saying? Leo Santa Cruz, I'll give him credit for beating guys like Carl Frampton. A lot of people thought that he beat Carl Frampton twice. I didn't see it. I saw Leo Santa Cruz lose that fight to Carl Frampton. So people are basically trying to say Leo Santa Cruz is an undefeated fighter because he really beat Carl Frampton twice. No, nah, that man didn't beat Carl Frampton in the first fight. I'm sorry. No matter how close you had it, you have to favor the Irishman for winning that fight. So, like I said, Santa Cruz has only had one fight at 130, and he looked terrible versus this guy by the name of Miguel Flores, okay? A journeyman. Tank Davis is 25 years old, 23-0, 22 KOs. In his last fight versus the man Yurioki's Gamboa, he barely made weight. He had to come back on the scales because he missed weight in the first attempt in his very first fight at 135. Who goes up in weight and still can't make weight? That's a telltale sign for the future, man. Telltale sign for the future, you know what I mean? But Tank did make weight on the second attempt. But overall, throughout the fight versus Yurioki Gamboa, a guy who tore his Achilles in the second round, Tank Davis looked like trash too. Looked terrible, you know what I mean? Yeah, man. So Tank Davis and Leo Santa Cruz, I'm sure it'll be a good fight, especially if they have it on the West Coast. You know what I mean? Whether it's I don't know if Tank Davis would really want to have that fight in the Staples Center, Los Angeles. Due to the fact that it'll be a pro-Mexican crowd over there, and you know what I'm saying, the bright lights might be a little too bright for Tank Davis. You know what I mean? I think Vegas is a good place to have the fight. Will the fight be pay-per-view? Time will tell. But I'm gonna read you some quotes what the man Leo Santa Cruz said to Fight Hype concerning Tank Davis fight. He said, quote, "I'm just staying busy. You never know when they're going to allow boxing back, and I want to be ready. I've been talking, and they asked me if I want that fight. I said, yeah, I want that fight. We're waiting for where it's going to be, but I'm almost 100% it's going to happen. And I think it'll be at 130. I already moved up to 130, and I don't want to give up a weight advantage. If I go up to 135, I will be giving him an advantage because of the weight." He said he can still make 130. We've been talking, and they said that he could make 130. But if the fight can't happen at 130, and if he can't make weight, then I'll have to go to 135 to make the fight happen. End quote. So it's still a possibility that this fight happens at 135 pounds, and that's what I'm talking about. Whoever has the bargaining power and the leverage nego- um, negotiate in the negotiations, they'll have the fight at the weight class they want. Tank Davis wants it probably more than likely at 135. Lil Santa Cruz wants it at 130. You know what I mean? Um, I'm interested in seeing if this fight's gonna be pay per view like they've been saying all along. You know what I mean? This pay per view, man, in this climate, man, in this pandemic, this fucking, this little recession we're going through, who's really wants to pay I'm sorry, $80, 70 to $80 for a pay per view? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be hard trying to make these fights. You know what I mean? Especially for pay per view. Even if the boxing comes back this year, will people even attend the fight? That's one thing. When boxing does come back and people are allowed to attend sporting events, I heard people are not going to be able to attend music concerts till 2021. So musicians and recording artists are in trouble as far as making some revenue on the road. It's not happening for 2020. You gotta sit your ass down somewhere in the corner and chill and just wait till things blow over. But as far as boxing, these boxers need that revenue too from the fans. You know what I mean? You check it. So I'm not sure if it's gonna be on pay per view. But Leo Santa Cruz right now, man, a lot of people are gunning for the guy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want that smoke with him. Even Shakur Stevenson, who said, "quote He's a great fighter, and for him to be wanting to fight me against me, it's great." Excuse me, sorry, Santa Cruz said, quote, talking about Shakur Stevenson, he's a great fighter, and I'm sorry, quote, he's a great fighter, and for him to be wanting to fight me, it's great. It shows that he thinks I'm a great fighter and he wants to face me. It's going to be a great chance, end quote. That was pretty vague. Santa Cruz also talked about Jojo Diaz, who's currently the IBF champion for the at the 130 pound super featherweight. He said, "quote I heard that Jojo Diaz said he's going to retire." Oh, he's talking about Santa Cruz talking about I'm sorry, Jojo Diaz wanting to fight Abner Maris, which would make for a great fight. Great fight. You know, Abner Maris is a guy who's spoken ill about Golden Boy, and because they've done him dirty, and he didn't come out of nowhere. He was at a Golden Boy event, a press conference, whatever, and they told him to leave. They actually kicked him out. What type of shit is that? Them Golden Boy people are bad news. Over there, Golden Boy, all you gotta see is a roster, man. Look at the kind of people they promote. They're not diverse by any means, you know what I mean? Not at all. And, they've had some inconsistencies all throughout De La Hoya's tenure as the Golden Boy promoter, you know what I mean? And they actually kicked the man Abner Maris out of a Golden Boy press conference. I forgot for which particular fighter. So the man Abner Maris, he spoke the truth about Golden Boy De La Hoya and his time when he was also promoted by Golden Boy before the split up Al Heyman and Oscar De La Hoya. So they would make for a pretty good fight, Jojo Diaz versus Abner Maris. If Abner Maris want to prove something, especially get some get back to De La Hoya and Golden Boy, he should be pushing for this Jojo Diaz fight. And this is what Santa Cruz said about Jojo Diaz wanting to fight to retire Abner Maris. He said, "quote I heard that Jojo Diaz said he's going to retire him." Maris responded. Maris responded by saying, "I'm not thinking about retirement yet. I think It's going to be a good fight. Jojo Diaz is a good fighter, and Maris is a good fighter too." The the only thing that's going to affect him if he takes the fight right away is the layoff. He's been laid off for a while and hasn't fought. I think it would be better if he takes a fight then, goes and does it. I think it's a great fight. Maris throws a lot of punches and Jojo's very technical. I think it's a great fight. End quote. I do too. Abner Maris hasn't fought since he fought Leo Santa Cruz about 2 years ago in a rematch that absolutely made no sense. Nobody asked for the rematch, but hey, man, two Mexicans um, from the West Coast. Leo Santa Cruz has a track record of fighting cupcakes. So hey, why not, man? That's easy money. I beat the guy Abner Maris before. I'll do it again. But yeah, man, that's the news I got as far as Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis and they're supposedly supposed to fight next. Like I said, it wouldn't be a good idea to put this fight on pay-per-view because nobody's gonna buy it. Not in this climate of this recession. You know what I mean? You know, maybe they could make the fight happen in 2021. Maybe things get back in order and people aren't scared to attend fights, and maybe people got a little bit more money to spend. You know what I mean? Especially for the entertainment for pay-per-views. Time will tell. We shall see. But I'm more curious to find out what weight class this fight happens at. Personally, I would like to see Tank Davis. I'm sorry, Gary Russell versus Leo Santa Cruz before I even see Tank Davis versus um, Leo Santa Cruz. Why? Leo Santa Cruz is in a weight class below the man Tank Davis. Tank Davis, you have a plethora of fighters to fight at 135. All killers, all better than the man Leo Santa Cruz. Look, Tank Davis is holding a WBA Reggie belt. He's not even a full champion at 130. You know what I'm saying? He's babysitting that Reggie belt while the man Lomachenko has a real super title at 135 pounds. Yeah, think I'm lying? Try me, right? We got guys like Devin Haney, a guy that I've heard gave Gervonta Tank Davis work in sparring. Yep, we got Teofimo Lopez, IBF champion, not no Reggie champion, a full champion. Yep. Who else we got? 135. Well, Lomachenko holds at least two belts. Tank Davis, I'm sorry, Devin Haney holds a WBC. Man, I'd like to see Tank Davis versus guys like Javier Fortuna next before I see him fight Leo Santa Cruz. Fight guys in your weight class. Even Luke Campbell, you know what I mean? Time will tell, we shall see. Be March Boxing, leave your thoughts and comments, and I'm gone. Peace.